Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about squats and squat pulsing in particular, one of my favorite exercises to do and how it's so beneficial for your body, whether you're pre-pregnancy, whether you're pregnant, whether you're beyond having babies, it doesn't matter. I'm Erica Zeal, creator of Nocta Fitness and the Core Rehab programs, and Annie Tinker and I have put together a Save Mama Squat campaign to really help teach you so much about movement. Yes, it's really geared around squats because squats are such a functional exercise. Squats as in, two legs doing squats, as well as lunges, which are basically a single leg squat, and so much more about like how to get up and down from the ground to pick up your little ones. I find myself all the time with 3 kids, especially when they were little, or like I spend a lot of my day down here and also training clients. So it's so beneficial to really learn how to start doing all of that so much more effectively right away, because it can wear and tear on our back. It can really affect our pelvic floor and our core function. And when through having babies and nursing and all of that, and even just if being on our phones and sitting at our desks, we get this kind of roundedness. So when we learn how to do things appropriately from right away, it really can affect and impact your life positively when we learn how to do things correctly. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you some squat pulses because, again, like I said, one of my favorites. I love them for so many reasons. One being that they're a very safe, effective way, regardless of whether you're pregnant or, healing postpartum, whatever it may be. So I'm going to show you from the front and from the side because there's a couple things that I really like to, have you be aware of, and that is your pelvic positioning. So when we get started with our legs, I like to keep them a little bit wider and just slightly rotate it out. Don't overly rotate because then our knees can do wonky things. And if you're in your 3rd trimester of pregnancy, you might want to bring those legs back in just a little bit, especially if you're getting any sort of pulling on your pubic bone, the underneath of the pelvis. So just be aware of that. So let's take our legs out. And I want you to first, before you even lower down, I want you to think about lengthening tall. Okay, we want to carry our body with our core. And while that, yes, may take a little bit more work, the sooner we start to do that, the better off we're going to be. And the sooner things all start to connect. So we want to always lengthen and grow tall. And if you're pregnant, think about hugging lightly underneath your belly, not pulling everything in, okay? That's a different story for another day. But we want to lift tall, feel strong underneath our legs, and then we're going to lower down. Now, I want you to find a spot that feels comfortable for you to be able to connect. Don't go so low that then you tuck your booty around your spine. Okay, we want to come up, and usually it's in the upper portion of the range. And then from here, you're just going to do inhale, control the range down, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. And the thing about doing the pulses is it keeps the connection through your legs. You're going to get your legs to become stronger quicker. And you can do these with weight at some point. I always recommend doing them initially without weight though. Okay, so I don't know where we're at. I'm not great at counting when I'm coaching and talking you through all the cueing. But once you start to feel it, you're going to feel it on the underside of your legs. Make sure you're not just in your quads, okay? Then I want you to come up, and I'm going to show you from the side, and I want you to do them again with me. So a couple things we want to watch for is when you lower down, it's really common that we can go a little too low and want to tuck, okay? So if that happens, you need to lengthen back up and then send those sits bones back and feel strong through your core. And because pregnancy can cause the pelvis to tuck and can cause us to become really arched in our lumbar spine, we get some wonkiness, some tightness going on around our sacrum. So back up out of that squat. Going deeper doesn't make it more effective. It can actually be quite the opposite. So I want you to be tall, connect, and then lower down. So really feel like you're pushing with the underside of your pelvis. And then again, look, I'm not super low here. Exhale, little tiny lift. I'm not going very far. Inhale, lower with control. Exhale, feel support underneath your pelvis, underneath the legs, pulling up through the quads, and then control it back down. Let's keep going. We'll do a couple of those. The goal being that the breath is really leading you. You're lengthening tall through the top of your head. And then control and lower down. So we're not disconnecting anything. And this is a great way to really get your strength back. And even if you've been working out really, really hard, it never hurts to take it back a couple notches and really work on some of the fundamental movements. Now we can take the same concept and do it with a lunge, right? So again, with a lunge, I'll show from the side first. So if I go into a lunge, and if you want something to hang on to, got my little bookshelf here I can hang on to if I need it, or anything. I'd rather have you have support to find the right connections instead of feeling like you're kind of wobbly all over the place, okay? So from here, one mistake we've got to watch for here is the butt can want to tuck. And when we go down like this, and all that does is put pressure on the knees and on the low back, and you'll notice you don't really feel your pelvic floor much either, or the deep core. So standing up tall, I want you to kind of lean forward. Now, sometimes I have my clients over-exaggerate that, and for good reason, because then we can get even deeper through our core and through our pelvic and glute hamstring connection. So I'm going to have you lean into it a little bit more, and then you're going to lower down, okay? Now, watch you don't sink into the back, and also watch you don't tuck. You gotta find that kind of happy spot where you really feel it underneath the glute and you feel your core. And then we can do little pulses. Inhale, control it down. Go slow and go controlled through these. So let's do 10 on each side. And you may notice that one side feels a lot easier than the other. That's pretty common. Use that breath. Okay, come up, switch sides. Other leg goes back. And again, lengthen tall first. So feel really strong through that front leg, and back leg is working a little too. You can lean into it and then lower down, and then exhale. A little close on this one. Inhale, lower, exhale. Feel that core working. We can add some arms. And when we think, if we take the weight out of the equation, we really work on the connections through our body, all of a sudden we start to feel things deeper. We start to feel our breath connect. Start to feel our core connecting. Okay, and come on up. And you can go back and kind of do a whole sequence through that, doing the squat pulses. And I have all sorts of different positions that I will teach them in, but for simplicity's sake, start with those, because when we really start to feel the connections, those are exercises that are really, really good to help us get into this whole, getting up and down from the ground of doing a motion like this. But if we're super tight and locked up in our back and our pelvis and we can't find that glute hamstring connection as we get lower to the ground, well, then it gets even harder and harder to find those right connections. So wherever you're at today, know that that's perfectly okay. Be kind to your body, and I want you to start practicing some of these squat pulses, lunge pulses. Again, use stability to help you if that helps you find the glute hamstring core connection. So if you haven't already, sign up for our free Safe Mama Squat campaign challenge. The link is above, and we're just releasing some great additional videos to help you, some from the Nocta Fitness membership. It is not just for pregnancy because it's such great content, and anything that you can do when you're pregnant is great pretty much any other time, because it's really, really core safe, and everything that I teach is really geared around safety and re-strengthening your deep core. So check it out.